The music might be a bit loud and I'm chewing gum. Equally not good. Let's put it a bit up. Is that okay? Yeah, maybe. This copyrighted music. For the reason of being just for... I don't think it is, but... to be just... I'm just gonna get this face ready. I'm chewing gum. Because I'm gonna fix my teeth with, like I have fluorosis. Which is like... it's a poisoning that you can get easily. In the 90s, the water was filled with fluor. So if you get fluorosis, your teeth kind of lose its like amalgam. I'm gonna have to put something in my mouth and have it for 20 minutes, and that's kind of like a... finally she shuts up. But yeah, before that I'm just gonna chew some gum. So I brush them and then just... yeah. I'm just gonna get ready because this day is like hitting me kind of in the skull with a bit of pizzazz. And how do you counter that? I counter it with... it feels better to actually feel a bit more aesthetically clear. I can visually see that, okay, I'm okay. Yeah. And then I'm gonna try out some games. Like I'm gonna probably play a bit of... I'm sorry for chewing gum, it's bad etiquette. I'm probably gonna play Red Dead Redemption a bit. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I chose to take a save file because my save file got corrupted. And I chose a save file that was like just downloaded. And it had a ton of money and a lot of things, and I didn't expect that, but okay. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna run around and look for things anyway. And then I'm gonna test out a lot of other games. There are some games I wanna just see if actually I'm a bit curious about. But first, getting ready just for the day. The day made me feel like I'm okay, disheveled. I'm not. But emotionally, isn't the same as the objective mirror telling me that's not true. I feel like if you feel better after like cleaning yourself up, then do that. Because it's not so much about actually being vain as much as it is. Okay. I'm starting the day a bit rough. Let's make it feel a bit less like rough and disheveled. And yeah, for being actually yesterday doing like makeup and saying I'm not a beauty blogger, I can never do that, and now get ready with me. Like, isn't this a pattern that is going like, hi there, my sound has changed. Good morning, it's morning here. Like, having a get ready with me stream is just like, where am I going with this? This is not what I was going for. But getting ready with people, I was hoping to actually... oh my god, ooh. Yay, thank you. I was hoping it would be like a place where people could rest. What was your year like? Could you tell me, what did you experience in 2025? And thank you so much. Having a get ready with me is like I was doing outfits, I was doing makeup. What is this going into? I am not a beauty blogger, but okay. Getting ready. I really wanted to just pick people's brain. Listen, good morning to you as well. It's 8:49 a.m. here. Here it is noon. Like it's 12:49 here. So not so far. Oh, it's so far. Okay. But very much thank you for every... Oh, yeah. What a start for the day. Like I started the day with being like, okay, this is a hard start. Like I had to just push this car down the hill to make it like... But it's starting. And I have some things to... hello there, saw you on Snapchat and thought I would swing by. Hope you're having a great weekend. Wow. It's been a rocky road. In some capacity, that is actually great. Like, it's not bad. It's just a bit of an overwhelming time. And I think it's the Christmas that creeps up on me just from behind, just jump scaring me and just like, you know that it's Christmas now. And yeah, it is. And I have to like leave. So my point of view now is just fix this thing. And then I'm gonna play some games, and then I'm gonna test some games, and then I'm gonna see what I can plan for the next year. How have your weekend been, and how have your year been so far? I really would like to hear like how the year has been for people, because my year has been ambivalent, and not without good and bad sides, but I think everybody since Corona times have had like a struggle to actually see yeah, this year. No, let's not jinx it. Let's just be honest about it. What did you... What was your year about? Like, Xmas is so close. I can't believe it. I'm still not over that the year is already ending. Yeah, right? I didn't actually notice that December was here until it's just like, now Christmas is here. December went fast. It went very fast. Too fast. November too, to a degree. But December was... It was kind of like speed running things. And I wasn't prepared. But then again, that's fine. Hoping for a shorter year next year. For a shorter year? You hope for a shorter year? Why? Don't you want the year to actually be long enough to just... Well, time can be also like, for your sake, like, why shorter? Because it can be like, okay, time can be running fast and running slow, and however you perceive it is just... Is it good in every step it goes forward, or is it bad and you want to make it prolonged? Like, that is actually... that can change over time too. Maybe you have something coming that you're looking forward to. Time is psychological. Yeah, it is. To a degree, it actually is. It is like relative. It's been boring. Oh, you know what? Of all things that is terrifying, boredom might be the only thing that actually like is more scary than like, when you are about to give up. If things are tough, just think about how boring it must be to just wait. It would be so boring. I think it's more fun to actually just not give up. Just never give up, because boredom is worse than anything. And yeah, a lot of boredom, it's not a good thing. What made it boring for you? While I do my makeup. boredom in nowadays world is the biggest enemy. We can't stay 10 minutes without doing something nowadays anymore. Yeah, our attention span is like, where did that go? And we like, who the fuck takes their time, as in old days, like just sitting looking around? You can see old people do that a lot, like just sitting outside their house just looking at people go by. Is that the same as we are looking at like Instagram and stuff and just doom scrolling ourselves through looking at people? Maybe they are kind of doom looking. Cell phones and internet destroyed our mind. To a degree, yes. It did. It destroyed our attention span. We are in a crisis with dopamine and noradrenaline and serotonin being unbalanced by we just want more fun, and then it ends up being like junkies try to find fixes for their addictions. Kind of feel the deficiency taking an effect, and deficiency there is like Gen Z, like Generation Z might be the one generation that had that hit them hardest of all generations. I can see that generation after that is kind of like coping with it in a more strategically way, to be smarter about their own like protection for surrounding. But Gen Z kind of just took the biggest like kick to the face, and they had the most like social media being like obnoxiously everything, and at the same time all the crises and all the like changes in economy, inflations and everything, like they just got, they pulled the shortest straw in every way, shape and form, and kind of feel sorry for them. But in the same way, they are kind of aware about it. They're like, aren't we cooked? Yeah, they are. They are very cooked. But they got like, I'm a millennial. Like, I'm one of those old people. And for some reason, we kind of got too self-aware, but we never entered that area where Gen Z just had to, they just got everything overwhelmed on them. And I kind of feel bad for them. But it's also just Gen Z. Every generation after that is kind of coping in a different pattern. And isn't that interesting? I feel like, I don't think that Gen Z is just like a destroyed generation. They just had to cope with things that was inherently bad in a way that they can't actually, they can't be wrong telling themselves we are cooked. We are cooked. They are aware about it. Like, look at me. Do you see how I dress? Yeah, of course I'm cooked. I'm working like 500 jobs and I'm still not making money. Like, basically their whole anatomy. And yeah, they are aware about that. And what did? They dance about it. Why isn't that just, that is humanly, actually dance is a way we express ourselves in a way that takes away like stress. Dancing is actually a good thing. It's the first thing we learn before we learn to walk. We actually dance. Have you seen the babies just standing like this? It's dancing. And before we can walk, we have to dance. And I think Gen Z did that very explicitly. Honestly, making money nowadays is so hard. Living standards has got so high that we can't really handle it. No, we can't. It's impossible. Inflation and everything is just like, yeah. Fucking hell. It is what it is. It's those times. But history has it has its way of repeating itself. Like, we are just going into the 90s was a good time. before the 90s, when the boomers were, they had the best time. And now we are in a declining time. Of course, it's gonna go downhill, and it's gonna go up again. But we are kind of taking that downward way into it's impossible to have living standards in our control without actually expiring. Dancing is good. It's been a while that I don't dance for no reason. I guess I became one of those boring. No. You might become boring adults until you just get sick of that. You get bored of that too. Like, sometimes you just have to put on music and just be silly. And sometimes that is actually, if you're really in a bad mood, just put on some stupid music and be a bit silly about it. Or some music that adheres to whatever mood you are in. And dancing to it, however bad you do it, actually has brain, like your brain takes that and fixes things neurologically. It's actually healthy. And yeah, I would advise Gorillaz. Gorillaz is a band that I really love because they have a bit of everything, and they are silly, and they have like profound, they have every genre, and they can be totally silly. And Gorillaz is really good. Yay, they are. I just love them. Like, if I have a favorite band, that must be them. Even though I'm like classically singing trained and stuff, Gorillaz is just like, they have a bit of everything, and like more into rock emo songs. Yeah, what bands do you like? I used to be into metal when I was in part of, like, I'm in Norway, so I was part of that black metal people. That, like, black metal is Norwegian. But anyway, I was like, they were my friends and stuff, so I had like a lot of metal music around me. I like Fall Out Boys, 3 Days, Grace, etc. Because basically 2000 stuff. I don't know if I've heard so much about them, but I think they are. I must have heard something because they seem familiar with me. They seem like something I've heard about before. But yeah. And yeah, I was into metal when I was in that environment, but then it kind of got like, after being in that environment, I kind of like took a step away from it, because knowing those people and knowing that social circle of black metal people, it's not the coziest. Yeah, it wasn't the coziest times of my life, and I kind of, when I moved away, I lived in Oslo then. When I moved away from Oslo, I was just like, okay, I'm glad to be rid of it, and I didn't listen to so much black metal after that. But it was for one part of my life, like, I was like into metal. But actually, I'm more like, I'm into everything. Like, I sang. I am classically trained in opera and classic music. Like, that is my real passion when it comes to music. But in the end, I love music and rhythms, and it can be stupid, good, bad. Katy Perry might be something I am struggling with, because she seems like weird to me. What the fuck is she doing? I don't understand that woman. But she does her thing, and even though it's weird to me, she has some like rhythms. Katy Perry is weird in it. She is. But what was that? Oh, that song. She has this song that was memed about, like, I don't remember what how it sounds. When it comes to my mind, I'm gonna sing it out. What the fuck was that song? But she looks nice, like pretty energetic. Yeah, manic in a way. In the way she is just too happy, and like she's doesn't come into the area of totally I'm just silly as much as she looks like she's actually does she have bipolar? I don't think so. I think she's just a celebrity. I wouldn't say she's bipolar because then she would have like maybe more, like, she is very nuanced into one she's like in one light scene in like her celebrity status. She's always Katy Perry. And if she was bipolar, she might have had like a bit more like Britney Spears was, going a bit all over the way. But then again, all of that is structured. Who are they really? They are manufactured brands, and they are products. So what do we know? We can clinically diagnose anything, but to me, she's just kind of weird. She's not totally silly and absurd. She's also a bit more like serious to be actually like she's in that uncanny valley kind of. The fuck is what is she doing? And wasn't she in space and stuff? What the fuck? How did she get there? How the fuck did she end up in space, and how the fuck did she get back again? That just makes a bit. That doesn't make sense to me. Who the fuck? Okay. They sent the dog to space, but they never retrieved the dog. Why did they retrieve Katy Perry? Sorry, that is mean, but okay. For my sake, I would think like if you send her to space, like how the fuck did she get trained for that, and did she adhere any knowledge? Like in being judgmental now, I haven't seen her utter a word that was like not riddled with stupidity. In every way, she's kind of like, I think that is her like way of being. She just kind of plays into that. I'm a bit silly, stupid, and playful, energetic. But then again, it's kind of uncanny. Maybe because she's like, she's kind of a product of Hollywood or whatever. I don't think she is as much as the woman Katy Perry actually might be. Funny about she going to space, because usually who needs a degree, at least a master in STEM field? Yeah. How the fuck did she survive up there? How the fuck, who the fuck trained her, and who the fuck, they must have patience better than ChatGPT. Yeah, I was like, that happened too fast. Did it just strap her into something and just like, we're sending you to space, but you are gonna do it without moving, and we are gonna just move you because we don't trust. I don't know how they did that. For all we know, maybe she is actually an astronaut, and Hollywood has just made her into a product that is like, I have to be the silly one, and they're always like produced. They are never like. Take Paris Hilton, for example. She was always like that girl that had that accent and everything, and she was like the dumb blonde one. But then when she spoke with her voice without making it into something like characterized, She has a deeper voice and she speaks with actually sincerity, which was weird since she never really did that until like very late in her way of living in that place of world. Maybe she's a science and she's maybe it would be geniusly, idiotically. Yeah, of course. Why not play stupid? Stupid is actually it's a good strategy to play stupid. Nobody will argue with you in the capacity that you actually might be too stupid to be able to. You can avoid a lot of things. Do you listen to any Norwegian music? Yeah, I do. A lot of Norwegian music. I like Susanne Sundfør. She has a lot of good music. I got a good lyrics, and then she made like recently I heard this. She had a collaboration. I'm not gonna play it here, but I can say the name. I just never know how to remember names. Like she made an album with oh god, what was his name? It was stupidly Norwegian. Let's see if I can find it. Was a collaboration with somebody that had Bratten. Was it Bratten? Gode? Gode something. I don't know if dumb blonde applies to her. Isn't she brunette? Yeah, maybe. I assume she's brunette and don't actually die. Maybe. Yeah. For all I know, she could be like the smartest person in the world. Like, how clever isn't it to just hide yourself in I'm just stupid. And then you are absolutely not stupid. Like, people would perceive you in another way. They would look down on you, and you could just be like doing your thing in that area. What the fuck was that album? I just had like part of me was like, oh, this is just the vibe I'm going through for a short while ago, and that was like, I have to find it. Why is a lot of music always like hidden gems that just all right? And why is it? Yeah, here we have it. Gode. I'm gonna show you the thing. This album by Ander Bratten was very much a good album, and Susanne Sundfør was collaborating with him, and it was a very beautiful album. It's more like without. Oh, I actually really want to play it, but yeah, means she got stupid money, and with stupid money you can probably go to space. Yeah, exactly. But who wants to go to space? Like, have you ever glanced up to the dark, clear, star-lit sky when it is not light polluted? And I get this, thalassophobia, like when you stare into the deep sea. I get that feeling if it's too clear, and you kind of get sucked into the atmosphere, and I kind of get like a desperate like fear of being sucked into the universe if I gaze too much upwards and it's too clear and you can see the stars and see the depth and everything. And yeah, I think that is actually, maybe that is a phobia, but it has to be like super clear. If you get in space for too long, your vision make it worse, and all astronauts use glasses. Yeah, my vision was like I was half blind, but I got like LASIK, and if you can look in my eye, I have like this black dot above my iris because I had to operate in like a new lens that was, it's called ICL. So I had ICL operated lenses into my eyes and LASIK surgery. So I should look like perceive the world perfectly, but because this eye is like still a bit like it's a bit not good. but it can't be perfect because it was so blind. That I will always have like a foggy eye. That is perfectly fine. I'm not bothered by it. It was worse using lenses. Like lenses was like being like so sensitive on your eyes in the end. It was horrible. I've never been into Norwegian music, but I didn't really grew up with it. But it give the album a go. Yeah, do that because it's not like black metal. This is, and Susanne Sundfør is not like, it's not pop either. It's more like she gets a bit lost into her own thing. And when she was playing like in Tromsø, I was living in town, so I just listened to it from my window. And she had this whole like, I'm just playing around with my keyboard making sounds. Like she's a bit of a weirdo, but she's a poet and she has good lyrics, and she's very well versed. She actually she got sick of the classical music because I think she's classical trained in the start of her life, but it was too like craving her into like a kind of frame. So she if I'm quoting this right, she kind of wanted to be rid of those frames, and she kind of does her own thing electronically. She can be really weird too, but she has a very beautiful, she has a lot of beautiful music. And I wish I could show it, but yeah, maybe we should just do that. It's more, she wrote also to this anorectic woman who was doing an art, like her anorexia was so bad she knew she would die, and she made herself into like a living art piece, and she made a very beautiful like musical piece for that art, and it's soul crushing because that's the anorectic person, she died. And I can show the picture of that album too, because it was just in front of me. Of course, now it's not. How silly. Let's see. And she has a lot of weird things with her. So yeah, there we have it. This is the self-portrait, and she, as you can see, was very anorectic, and her art form was like, my body is now my art piece, and she knew she would die of anorexia, and her like what she wanted to be like made into art, she did it with a very beautiful soundtrack by Susanne Sundfør that is soul crushing in the depressing way that anorexia can be such a desperate death. But I don't remember her name. Oh my god, I struggle with names. But the artist, she was wanting to shed a light on how it is uncensored, and how the body is like in itself like art, but it's also a very visually like uncensored way of seeing anorexia being like a walking skeleton, because she did look like a walking skeleton. No, I have to know her name, because that is just, I think it was something Lena. Wasn't it something Lena? Wasn't it Lena? I think it was something Lena. Of course it doesn't tell me. Yeah, Lena. Her name was Lena. The only artistic moment for any Norwegian, I guess, is that school we get forced to play the blockflöte. Yes. But besides that, I can't say I had an artistic moment. Well, I'm gonna give you some. This is not blockflöte. It's an ocarina. I harassed my brother with playing this ocarina instrument until perfection. I could every single song of Zelda music. And you know what he did? He blew it up at New Year's Eve, long time ago. So he owes me ocarina. And it's still very long since I played ocarina, so I kind of have to harass my neighbors now. And I have another one. And I suck, of course. And now I'm listening to other music, so I don't remember. My neighbors are a bit foul. I don't wanna wake the beast. But yeah, I really wish I had like a flute again. Like, not necessarily a block flute. Like, I want a flute, but more like one of those medieval things. So I have flutes, like I could just use them, and I have a harp, which is even better. But I want one of those. Like, why do I want all the weird? Like, I wish I had a hurdy-gurdy. Do you know what that is? That is an instrument, a hurdy-gurdy. And when I heard the name, I thought, yeah, right, that can't be a good instrument. I'm gonna show you a hurdy-gurdy, and it is just a fantastic instrument. It's a silly name. I don't know why it's called hurdy-gurdy, but okay, bear with me here. I'm gonna show you, because for real, this instrument, I don't know how to get it, but I want it. All right, let's see here. This is a hurdy-gurdy. It has this medieval sound, you know, and I am a sucker for medieval and Renaissance music. So I can say that. This is a hurdy-gurdy. Who the fuck came up with that name? I want to see this guy play. He's like, he looks professional. Let us see. He's professionally, and it's a beautiful instrument. It's kind of like a lute, but if you put a lute and like accordion together, you get a hurdy-gurdy. It is so cool, and it's such a stupid name. I want a hurdy-gurdy. Like, that is also very much like you have heard it in every medieval setting that is in movies and stuff. Just cool instrument. I also want a lute, but I haven't found one. I have a lute harp. That is the closest thing I got. But yeah, isn't that just fantastic? I don't know if it's any way, shape or form like copyright, but hurdy-gurdy music, my god, isn't that just? Where the fuck would I get one? It is because of the pressure. Yeah. I would love owning one of those, but I would probably never play it without getting like sincerely carried out by my neighbors. Like they are a bit neurotypical to the degree they are actually boring and scary. Like they actually scare me sometimes. But yeah, if you don't poke the bear, it doesn't get provoked. They don't. Yeah, okay. A Karen will always get provoked. Let's find back to something. What? Something more upbeat. I need to fucking get into the mood. Oh, wait. Okay. Where was I? I need to do my makeup. I don't need to do it. I just need to fucking feel great and ready for today or some kind of way. And I'm actually gonna test around with some games. I was thinking about just some games I want to test if I can do into the planning of actually sticking it into the plan of, like, I'm gonna be very much more structured when with the new year as it comes. I mean, it's early in the day. Are they in any position to complain about it? They came at midnight one time to just be like harassing for, I don't remember why, and they were just obnoxious. So no, I don't think they adhere so much to anything else in their own sphere. I don't care so much. They haven't been like, other than just like, I'm gonna avoid you. I'm gonna take a stealthy approach, and it's working. So yeah, but we all have those people around us that just don't like to be as much around us, that we always have chemistry that goes to hell. Should I understand? Yeah, like, they came at midnight. Who does that? Like, knocking on my door, and I just like, I don't really like to open my door. I went the other way around and just looked at them from the other way around, and of course, but yeah, enough about that. People are people. People, everybody, everybody making a same. And yeah, I have some games I'm gonna play today. I'm gonna test out some things before I take holiday leave too, and I'm gonna play Red Dead Redemption before I enter into, like, there's some games I want to try out if I could put it into a plan that it comes to, like, when New Year comes around, it's gonna be structured and put into a structure that is actually like a bit Nazi approach to, if I can say so, because I feel like that is the best way to go with a business strategy, if I can call it, like, a strategy that actually can coherently be better, more up to speed with what I want to create. Like, it will just make more consistency, structure, and everything that is necessary to actually make this thing up to a standard I like. And today I chose to start my day with violence. McDonald's! I just wanted dispenser cola. Like, dispenser cola. Why is that better than really, like, go and buy a cola? For some reason, it's watered out and it tastes different. And I just needed some dispenser cola. I rarely drink sodas because what is it called? Kulsyre. The CO2, is that what it is? Kinda can be messing with my throat sometimes. But yeah, the games I wanted to try out. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna do one of those. Maybe you can give me like, should I not? It's this. I'm gonna do that. Let's go back to the live scene and just open up my Steam. Not that thing. Where do you be? You thing. It's the what is it called? Masquerade, Vampire Masquerade, something like this. I never played it in the 90s, but it is fucking lower yourself and go into my other view. Yeah, there we can have a better overlook. Now I can see both things. Let's see. Oh, this wish list is filled with. Why have this ended up here? I think I misclick a lot, or just like, said it had. Only reason I want to play this game is because Akira Yamaoka is the one who made the soundtrack, and I just love that man. Post Trauma was interesting, but I'm looking for. I don't think it is a. Huh. Well, this is one of the games. Resident Evil. We have to play that Fatal Frame. I have not played Fatal Frame in like the earlier versions. I do have to play them though. Darkwood 2, we have to play Darkwood first. So that is coming, and that is like Darkwood is a game. This game, but it has mixed reactions. Silence. I was in between. Do I want to try this out? It has mixed reactions, and some of the like ways people are giving like their recommendations about it is like it's kind of I don't know if it's worth it. And again, maybe I'll have to. Like some of them say it's like a very tedious gameplay, but this is also reviews. Like this review was very good because they had played like the older ones. I haven't. Vampire the Masquerade 2 is really good in my opinion. Have you played it? Did you like it? Maybe it's something I have to try out. Because I kind of am curious about it. I never played it in the 90s when it was like a thing. So I don't know anything about the background story. I don't know that for Dying Light. I just bought Dying Light the Beast and just like, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna go blind into it. And I was just like, I know it's something about zombies, but it kind of scared me. I'm not scared about like horror games in general, but it was like, that is not zombies, that is a fucking banshee, isn't it? And then it was just attacking me. But yeah, that is fun, and we're gonna continue that thing, of course. But all in due time. Right now, I'm just testing out before I put things into a schedule for January coming, because I want to have everything clear and perfectly coherently in effect when that time comes. And when I'm going for holiday, I have a lot of time to just work with fucking technical things. But a lot of them have given me a bit of a hassle, so I had to like test it out during some of the streams. That's why I have been doing a lot of streams with just a lot of testing, because for some reason didn't want to listen to me. Put it in, it should be right now, but no. And then I had to do it like again and again and again, and then some things works and something still need working. Never played prequels, so I can't say that I understand people's frustration in this on the story. Maybe I should just buy it and just go for it, because in that way, but then I tried it myself. I don't have to like take like the reviews for everything it is. For me, it was really good. Well, I think I'm gonna try it. Just see how it plays for me, and hopefully it can be like a good game that is streamed. If not, well, whatever it becomes, it becomes. Chihiro, do you like psychology is scientific or not totally? Do you think psychology? I think psychology and psychiatry is like this. We have neuroscience, which is the scientific side of it. Like you have neuroscience, which is the biologically way you see and cut into the brain and understand how it communicates like biologically. And psychology is a pseudoscience. And let me explain why. It's a pseudoscience because every hypothesis has never become a theory. So in a degree, you can never have psychology to become a science. But it is treated in like university and stuff, but because it never had any hypothesis becoming a theory, it still is in that pseudoscience area. But having that said, it is like this with like neuroscience, and I think like if you take Carl Jung, who is and Freud for that matter, but Carl Jung especially, the way he thought about psychology is the way I kind of feel is, in my opinion, most right to explain how it scientifically and metaphysically kind of becomes a thing that you can understand, because in a way it has to do a lot with the way he explains it into personas and stuff, and how Freud kind of just have this one absolute way of how we evolve from children and up towards our life. But Carl Jung kind of does this approach where you have a more nuanced, and it takes the more accountability into the spirituality side of it. I would say it depends on the branch in psychology, like CBT, yeah, is really evidence-based. The same with DBT. Other areas aren't so evidence-based, like psychoanalysis. Yes, but here's the clue. Like, all of these treatments, like CBT is actually one of the treatments that actually has success to like a larger scientific science that actually can see numbers be successful. But there's always one person that comes into the therapy room and just destroys the hypothesis from becoming a theory. So yes, I'm absolutely agreeing with you, but to become a theory, it has to be like, in a way it hasn't been like it hasn't been disproved, so it's still just hypothetically an idea. Like it's this hypothetically looking upon something, and they want to become a theory, like this is actually scientifically coherent with the greatest scientific number. But there's always somebody, because it's so individually structured, that psychology, they always have these people that comes in there and just destroys the hypothesis from becoming like a theory. It's just, that is where it becomes a pseudoscience. But at the same time, it has, in all shape or form, like you say, areas that is very like overwhelmingly effective ways. The thing is that psychology is statistical. Like most sciences nowadays aren't totally precise. Yeah, that's true. They would work with probability and statistics, so I'm not sure that that's a down on psychology. No, but the statistic in psychology is like they are still trying to prove these like hypotheses, like these ideas, in a way that they haven't been like able, like if you take the relativity, Einstein's relativity, it became a theory because nobody could disprove his theory. And a lot of the psychological fields always have this one like counter argument against them that just hinders them from becoming, doesn't exclude them from scientific being scientific. It just makes it hard to be theoretical work, because it's always a counter argument that actually hinders it to become that theory that is still yet to be disproved. Psychology is the perfect example of a science that works, but its theories aren't precise and coherent. Yet it can't be coherent because we are so individually. Like every individual that comes into a therapy room are very much not like just, if you take the fields, like you can kind of like stack it into labels. Like you have this kind of field being like we have trauma patients being like they cope through this way, that way, academically, martyrdom and stuff, and narcissism and everything. They can label it like that, but you have that part of the individual that is so individually experiencing it, the world and everything, that you can't know that the labels is an absolute, in the same sense that like philosophy kind of, you don't have any absolute in philosophy, but that is a science too. So it's a pseudoscience, but it's also a science that is like still in university. I do not say that psychology is not scientific, but in the objective sense, it has still to be able to overcome that field where it has counter arguments that disproves it from becoming theoretical. And that is the only, like, it's still so individually up to, like you say here, the thing with psychology is that researchers don't even agree on the same metaphysics. Like many are materialists and others are dualists. Well, others are monists. Some believe in free will, others don't. Like, here is where psychology enters the field of philosophy. And then you have exactly what I'm trying to pinpoint. Like, it's so individually like percepted. So we have that this ongoing, like, is it, we have these like different viewpoints that can't be coherent, as you say. It is always like a struggle to get it into one form. And having said that, it doesn't mean that it doesn't adhere to science. It just has still to be finding an area that has an absolute form of theory that have yet no argument to disprove it. Like, some think that neuroscience will replace psychology, but I don't think that will be the case. No. Neuroscience is scientific, so it deals with behavior and structure, but neuroscience can't grasp the subject experience. Neuroscience is just looking at how your brain biologically and somatically communicates, in the way that they actually, instead of actually giving you therapy, they will give you medicine to make your brain waves like communicate better. That is what they do. They try to make the brain, not your mental health, like your mental perception of yourself won't be in focus. They focus on how your brain is actually talking to and connecting and communicating. And that is where, like, psychologically, I say this, they have to be hand in hand, because you can talk about how the brain communicates, but if you just take one of those approaches, like if you just go for neuroscience, you will be without the mental and the individual experience, which excludes a lot of the actual, like, if somebody is mentally ill and need like therapy, you can't just treat it with a pill. You need to have actually communication in the brain that is adhering to the frame that is actually therapeutically able to take therapy. And then therapy will be like how you treat the mental experience of that individual. So they are kind of like hand in hand. You can't exclude, just, it's not just one field. You can't just have, this can be an absolute, just like doctors are like somatically and physically just looking at your body, like, yeah, you have a broken foot and stuff, but if you have like a broken mental like damage, they can't treat that. So all of these fields kind of have to have an interference with themselves. They can't be excluding to just one of those things. In order to get the full picture, we need to consider both the external nature and internal nature of things. Yes, you said it exactly. We need to have all into you, because we are not just one thing. We are psychosomatically a dualistic thing that actually is in a total war between physically being a thing, a body. Like the body does its thing, but the mind does its own thing, and they are always in two different axles. Like if you get a fight or flight response, just to make one point, your body will give you adrenaline and hormones and like cortisol, everything, and these processes will be taking its time to like equilibrium it out. But your mind can say, okay, I see that this is affecting me to feel like my body is reacting to this. Like you can know what happens objectively, but your body will still react in its own like way. And in that sense, you will always like have a dualistic war between your physical self and your metaphysical self. The thing is that science decides to only deal with objective phenomena, like subjective experience was totally disregarded while people were forming the scientific method. Yep. We can't exclude one just to one field. We have to have a psychosomatic approach intertwines all of the fields. And I'm neither a dualist or a materialist. I prefer monism. Like you kind of have to have all this. You kind of have to have knowledge about all the fields. And if you go to the doctor only sends you to the person that is a specialist. That's his only job. They just know where to like they are like the people that just sends you to the right person. They need to know a lot, but they don't know more than the basic stuff. And if you have a broken foot, you need to go to a foot doctor. If you have a broken mind, you need to go to a mind doctor. And all of this is not as simple as just like, I can think one thing is the right answer. No, we need to take all the human condition into accountability. So I agree wholeheartedly with you. That is true. Oh, I actually have to run. So I have to come back later because I just got a message. But that's one of our biggest issues nowadays. We only have specialists now. There are no general scientists anymore. They are there. But all of those scientists has to be like a comorbid calamity, because part of being like in a university, you will meet every part of the specialist groups that is like specialized into the weirdest areas. Like you can see that they are like dorks, and the biggest dorks have the weirdest fields. Like some just want to find out why something as silly as why does the rain fall like that, and they just like pour every fucking hour of their life into just minute little thing. Have a good one. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, I have to run, but yeah, I really enjoyed this talk because yeah, I agree with you and you have good ideas, and I hope to see you back so we can talk further. But yeah, Christmas is calling and things are happening. Yeah, just got a message. I have to run, but yeah, I'll be back and probably sooner than later. Yeah. This is why I always silence my phone when I'm streaming. But yeah, thank you for the talk. And I do agree with you, and to be honest, like, it's good to see people actually having that viewpoint that you are uttering, because this is a big fucking flaw in our healthcare system, because we kind of just adhere to one source, and we have to take into accountability, like, as you say, we have to get all the geeks together and make a fucking scientifically calamity that entails the entire spectrum. But yeah, until next time, thank you very much for your viewpoints. I will hope to see you back, and I'll be back sooner or later, and yeah, so have to run, I'm so sorry, but yeah, thank you for the talk. Bye, have a good